This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Aura Frames. From big events to life's everyday moments, Aura Frames makes it easy to upload unlimited photos directly from your phone so your favorite memories are always within view.
Named the #1 digital photo frame by Wirecutter, Aura Frames can be preloaded and personalized to make a truly unforgettable gift this holiday season.
So save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code RAW at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code RAW. This deal is exclusive to listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got the lowdown on WWE SmackDown after Survivor Series. As eventful as WWE Raw was, this episode happened.
It did, in fact, occur. I watched it. Unless there's a mass delusion going on a Friday night. And we're all imagining episode of SmackDown to happen.
Might be the Jersey drones that's giving us that info, Larson. What's going on in New Jersey with the drones?
I think they're just airplanes, Steve.
How crazy would it be if New Jersey drones is the thing that finally broke you to get rid of Twitter?
It's getting to that point, man.
Okay, so we had like not buried within, but it wasn't uneventful. We had a heel turn from Johnny Gargano. They won the tag titles. Street Profits were laid out. And we got the announcement.
Yes.
And this is like the 6-year anniversary almost to the day of the Superstars, the McMahon shakeup, the wild card rule brand-to-brand invitational. We've got the transfer portal now.
Yeah, the transfer. I think they call it the transfer window. I don't think they call it transfer portal.
When somebody transfers?
College sports thing. What?
Do they do the thing like you got on the Saturday night main events graphic? You know what I'm talking about? When they show Cody, it like trons him in.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens, it like
they teleport from one brand to the other.
Yeah. They like tron in, quantum leap in.
So they dropped this potentially interesting and substantial bit of news in the midst of the middle of a Chad Gable, Cody Rhodes promo off to kick off the show, where Chad's like, yeah, I'm here to talk to Nick Aldis because the transfer window's open. I might be looking to come to SmackDown. What? That seems to be a major development. So then commentary expounded upon it, said, yes, in advance of Raw's move to Netflix. Remember, a few weeks back, we said that Netflix asked for all the top stars to be on Raw.
$5 billion, you should be able to get a couple of these.
Punk, Cody Roman, everybody.
My goodness. Greedy.
So Cole said that the general managers for Raw, SmackDown, NXT were all discussing roster moves. And not only was Gable looking potentially move to SmackDown, that's why he was there. Later on, we see two other Raw superstars show up on SmackDown. One, Dom Mysterio shows up talking to Aldis in the background while Bianca, walks backstage. And then later, Gunther's just talking to Aldis.
Yeah.
They shake hands. And then Mello kind of walks up asking about, where do I fit into everything? Because if I'm not one on SmackDown, Monday Night Mello sounded pretty good. Yeah. And Aldis pretty much says, that would be Adam Pearce's headache. Fine by me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's interesting. You know, there's the annual WWE draft, which is usually a thing.
Yes, usually that comes after WrestleMania.
And they announce it in advance. They try and make a huge thing of it because they think it'll pop a number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was kind of slipped in there in the middle of a promo. No huge announcement. No advance announcement of it. So is this going to be as substantial as the draft? The draft is rarely hugely substantial in terms of, like the main event talent switching brands, although it happens on occasion. Or is this going to be kind of like a smaller thing where maybe a handful of people, 3-4 people switch brands, a couple of NXT call-ups per show, and that's the extent of it. Most importantly, who do you want to see switch brands, Steve?
All right, well, I'll tackle your first question first. And I kind of say the transfer portal sounds like the draft last year. If you recall, like you said, wasn't terribly substantial. And what happened? All these internet nerds like you and me, whining like little babies. Why weren't more bigger stars drafted? All that annoying bullshit. You get rid of all that annoyance.
Is that really how we sound?
Oh, that's exactly how we sound. I sound like an idiot.
should
You
get
know,
work on
that's
that.
me. You're like, meh, meh, meh. And like nobody likes us.
Really, I do this?
Yeah, you do. You're a head bobbler.
Wow, we're just shooting here today, aren't we? Huh?
Shoot from the hip, baby. No. Listen, the transfer portal, I hope, number one, I've been an advocate for do the draft once every 2 years, once every 3 years in the first place. Because then you can bring back brand versus brand, baby.
Really,
and it'll
let's see
actually be
once.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, everybody complained about it. It's apropos that, or it's fortuitous, I guess, that Netflix is starting, so you could do the transfer portal now and forget about the draft.
I wonder another thing is they, thought, hey, announcing the draft in advance, an eventful episode of Raw and SmackDown, more people will tune in, and it doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't pop a number like it
it's
used
a
to.
net
or they
negative,
expect
isn't
to.
it? Like you can build up anticipation for it, but if it doesn't pop a number and it just sort of makes people angry that more people aren't moving,
Then
then
just
ditch it for now.
Low key. Yeah, transfer window.
The transfer window. So who said this here? Because I think we've heard about the Jeffrey Nguyen here says a transfer window is a soccer thing. That's where I've heard it, I guess.
Yeah. College sports is the transfer portal where you enter into the transfer
Gotcha.
portal if you want to change.
Okay. All right. This is the portal,
Football
right?
programs, for example.
This is the
yeah.
portal, right? This is they call
No,
it the
window.
portal or
It's
window?
window.
This is window. Okay.
Window. That's what they said. Window.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. I kind of like keeping it low key. I thought whenever they would basically do administrative bullshit, when they honestly, when the draft would, rip teams apart and stuff like that, it was mildly, interesting. Then you completely sour on it when they drafted Big E away from the rest of the New Day. It was like, well, this is horrible. And then on top of that, you find out they found out when we found out. That's horrible.
Yeah.
They should get the lowdown on me. They
Absolutely.
should know before I do.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So yeah. Now let's talk about this is the fun part though. Let's make some moves. Let's make some moves, man. Come on.
I mean, we saw Gunther talking to Nick Aldis. Are they actually going to switch the world champs so that Cody ends up on Raw? This is ahead of Mania season. If that's the case, if they're world champs switch brands, that completely changes, potentially, the calculus, potentially, for some Mania matches, especially for Gunther.
All right, so let's go down that road, because why
Sure.
not? Because we can not a lot more to talk about tonight.
No.
Let's say they swap the big two. One thing that we've talked endlessly about with Cody is that he's running low on big name opponents. Right now, after Kevin Owens, it's Randy Orton. And that's kind of it. That's kind of
It's
it.
Dwayne, but that's if he's
but
and of course
evidently
Roman.
he's not going to be there.
Roman too.
And Roman 3 is the point. You know what I mean? Like ground that he's already tread. Obviously Rock for Mania, but there's a lot of pay-per-views and Saudi Arabia shows between there. Now you're adding up Saturday night's main events. So he needs opponents. There's a shit ton of them on Raw, including the man that I predicted would take that title eventually off Cody, Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think, if they do the thing where SmackDown becomes more of like, I guess they're both going to be 3 hours, so you're going to have to load them up with all sorts of shit. But, I don't know. I could see them building SmackDown, maybe not around Gunther, but maybe taking on more of an ensemble feel if you're going to have Cody and Roman go to Raw. Roman's probably going to, number one, Roman ain't there very often. And when he is there, he'll show up on Raw anyways. So, in terms of Punk, he's already there. He's already on Raw. So you have your Punk Cody stuff that you've been talking about, possibly for WrestleMania as well. Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of options there. And Gunther can kind of be like a good guy or a bad guy, So, I mean, we see right now they're kind of maneuvering him as a face, but I get the feeling they're just going to want characters as opposed to like good guys, bad guys kind of thing, even though I know what we saw tonight with DIY, but still.
Yeah. Part of me wonder if it's more likely if they have a major star like Roman, who is not a champion, even though if he is officially on one brand, the other team's cool jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, say him and Jimmy go to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the OG Bloodline reunion over there on Raw.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I don't know who SmackDown would get in return. That'd be major names, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you bring Roman over there, then you have Roman Seth right
Mm-hmm.
there on the same brand.
Oh, yeah.
Potential, a lot of good stuff. But Cody staying on SmackDown, Gunther staying on Raw.
You can move Drew over to SmackDown. That's a big name.
Yeah.
If you move, even if you move like Sheamus over to SmackDown, I know he's not like a main event guy, but he's a guy that everybody loves, and he can fit in the main event if you need him in the main event.
Drew versus Cody's could be a money feud too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they don't send Cody over, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, they've got so much talent, and a lot of it has already been exhausted. We saw that in the U.S. title scene. We're going to talk a little bit about maybe something that they hinted at with the U.S. title scene. They brought Nakamura in to shake it up.
Oh, that might be a reach, Steve.
Well, you have it in the notes. I was going to say
I put in the notes knowing it was a reach because at that point, not much had happened on SmackDown.
I was going to say it was a reach. I saw it in your notes. I was paying respect to your damn notes. Yeah, it's a reach. I think they were just interrupting the chump segment. But they bring Nakamura in to shake that up a little bit. You get Carmelo out of there. You bring in, I don't know, maybe instead of swapping the world champions, maybe they swap the mid-card champions. You get Nakamura over back on Raw. You bring Braun Breaker over to SmackDown and see what happens there. Or Carmelo heads over to Raw like he was talking about. They swap him for Dom. Kind of a fair swap right there.
I mean, it makes sense if Dom's growing tired of dealing with Finn's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that he would, catch wind of something like this happening and be like, get me out of here. I want to come to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Of course, it's where his dad's at, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. Ray's on Raw.
Yeah, he's on Raw.
LW's
They're
on Raw,
feuding with endlessly with the dude
American
that we saw
American Made.
Gable.
Gosh, it's so confusing. Even though we have a brand split, it's so soft.
You know what'll make this? Not confusing? Next week, you and I, we sit down. We have a good old-fashioned transfer portal draft over at the Friendo Club channel. Content, Larson. That's what these transfer portals all about, man.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So we'll do that.
Actually, I'm not expecting anything really seriously substantial from any, as far as major stars necessarily changing brand. It may happen, but you got to set your expectations low, is what I'm saying.
Well, dude, I don't know, man. You're probably right, but how will, let's say Netflix, I mean, dude, they paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've got a roster and it's all make-believe. Just write Cody onto the show. Well, you got to use some logic on that. Would USA, then you get into this sort of situation where USA Network is like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And then WWE be like, well, did you pay $5 bills?
Still. I mean, it's not, that's part of it. The business side is obviously part of it, but you want two shows, I would think, that are compelling programming in their own right. And the star power isn't everything in terms of the quality of the storytelling. Oftentimes it has no bearing on the quality of the storytelling, but people do tune in to see their favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, it's the draws.
And if they're all on Raw and SmackDown, it's not doing too hot in the ratings because they don't have the star power of the other show. USA is be like, come on, you can't give Raw everybody. Yeah, we didn't pay you $5 billion. We paid you a lot of money still.
Yeah,
there's got to be some balance. That's what I'm saying.
Who are the top 4 names? Let's say in the men's division.
Cody.
Fuck it. Who are the top 4 names? Because I feel like Rhea's one of them. Like in terms of just
overall.
Rhea's one of them.
Cody Roman.
Yeah. Punk,
Rhea.
Punk and Rhea.
Yeah.
And then you got more names. You got Jey Uso. I mean, that's sort of
Seth,
I think a step down from the others. You got Seth.
You got Kevin Owens. You got Randy Orton. You got Drew McIntyre. Yeah.
I feel like those 4 are the big ones. How would you split them up?
I mean, they're already evenly split up. You got Cody and Roman on SmackDown and Punk and Rhea on Raw.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Roman. Like I said, Roman, you could take him out because he can be on both shows.
It's been established that anybody could be at any show.
Yeah, well, once the transfer
wasn't
portal's
Phil on
closed,
SmackDown 3 weeks ago?
Once the transfer portal's closed, then it's closed.
We don't know that.
You can't.
We don't know that.
You can't portal, man. You can't go
window. Here's the thing about a window: you close it, you can also open it again.
Unless you paint it.
unless it's one of the ones that have no things, so you can open it. Just paint a glass.
Yeah, you close it. You paint it. It's like, I can't open this. Oh, you painted it. You should have opened it when you painted it.
Yeah. That's irritating.
Oh,
like especially
so-
moving to an apartment, they do that. They paint
So-
the windowsill, anyways.
Yeah, it's annoying. So yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Look, they'll figure it out. Luckily, we're not getting, but we are going to do a draft this next week. The
Sure.
transfer portal window draft is what we're going to do.
Transfer window draft.
Portal sounds cooler.
Sounds futuristic.
It does. Yeah, I know. Portals sound futuristic.
Windows sounds very pedestrian because we all have windows here.
I have one behind that brick wall right there because it's
I know,
not
it's
actually
not a real
a brick wall.
Steve did
Yeah,
not
the
put a
one
brick wall up over his
back
window.
there. I don't have any brick in this office, but it looks like I do.
Yeah.
Breaking kayfabe left and right, man. Anyways, hey, you know what, man? All week we've been talking about this great new sponsor we have here on the show with Aura Frames. Larson, why don't we go ahead and tell the people about Aura Frames?
Let's do it. Let's take a quick break here. Get a word from our sponsor, Aura Frames. You know, Steve, so often I take pictures on my phone, a lot of them, and whether they're pictures of huge events or just everyday moments, they just seem to be stuck on my phone, on the camera roll. And then when, like a family member says, hey, you took a picture of this event, can I see it? And I
What huge event? Hey, what huge event have you taken pictures of?
Name them.
A spaceship?
Yeah. Drones flying over our town, Steve. Anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got to scroll through those pictures on my phone and want to share them with my family. I got to spend a bunch of time just searching on my phone trying to find them.
No, dude, I know, man. You're just sitting there and you're just sweating because they're waiting for you to find this picture. And you're just
Exactly.
When was this? June, July, 2021? When did the drones show up? I don't know. But if you're looking for an easy way to share those drone pictures, Larson, you got to check out Aura Frames. Aura makes it easy to upload unlimited photos directly from your phone so your favorite memories are always within view. I've talked about this a bunch, man. What's up there today? Oh, it's the same one from the other day. It's me taking Gypsy for a walk with my kid over there. I got my dog's Alta right there because she passed recently. But the Aura Frames is great, man, because every morning I come in here, turn on the light, it activates, and I got a brand new picture of Gypsy the dog right here from my phone that I had put on the Aura Frames. It's great. I'm thinking of getting one for my mom as well. I'm going to personalize that and preload a bunch of awesome pictures of just me on that particular Aura frame. So like my sister's going to come over and there's going to be that frame and this is going to be me. And then she's like, oh, when's the next picture coming up? I'll load it up one every minute. Next minute, another Steve. Another minute, boom, more Steve. No Monica. Sorry, Monica. Monica, no way. Anyways.
Just rapid fire. Steve.
Yeah, exactly. So you can do that. You can preload it, give it as a gift. You can fill it either with photos of life's huge milestones or pictures of me, or pictures of fun everyday moments for an unforgettable gift. That's what my mom's going to say. She's going to say, this Steve frame is unforgettable.
Unforgettable. So save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames by using promo code RAW at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code RAW. This deal is exclusive to listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna preload it with a bunch of huge events with you in those huge events.
All right.
We're talking about like I don't know. All I can think of are like tragic huge events. Like you're on the grassy knoll.
Oh goodness.
Give me like a good event, man. What's a good huge event that happened? Anybody? I don't know. When like something was discovered, was that good?
Moon landing. I don't know.
The moon landing. You're on the moon. Perfect. That's a great event. It's a
There we
master
go.
achievement of humankind.
Here we go. Moon landing it is.
Yeah, Curious Corduroy says Forrest Gump Larson. There you go.
Well, it'd be both of us, wouldn't it?
No,
just
just you. It's
Wow.
just you and your huge events.
It's
Absolutely.
like
Oh
Larson's a
goodness,
Highlander.
dude. Before. Oh man, listen, dude. Oh god, I got to bring this up really quick before we continue on with our SmackDown.
Talk about the
review.
hat.
Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about the hat first. Trip Rogers in our chat. I was going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about him, and then I'm going to ban him from our chat. But check this out. We've got a brand new Big Blue Predictions Challenge this month. It's December. Deadline is tomorrow. The form is up now. So
Yeah.
if you want to participate in the Big Blue Predictions Challenge, Jeffrey Nguyen says moon landing was faked. If you want to participate in the Big Blue Predictions Challenge and get this hat. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at the Big Blue Predictions hat. It's so beautiful. We're doing unique designs every month now, specifically suited to make Larson jealous when he doesn't win the Big Blue Predictions Challenge. So prove yours is superior to Larson's by joining us in the Big Blue Predictions Challenge, and in the process, you might win this amazing hat. How do you do it? One of two ways. Click join right here at YouTube, or go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup. Either way you do it, it's $5 a month. Great way to help support Going In Raw, and you get access to a huge back catalog of our bonus episodes, and you get access to the question threads for the show here. But more importantly, if you're signed up, please, please, please go fill out that deadline form. That could be the make or break thing, because some people might forget, oh, NXT, who cares about NXT? And it's just like a couple people signing up for it. No, make sure you get your predictions in for a deadline. The form is up right now in the community, or in the members thread on YouTube, and on the Patreon wall there on the Patreon. So check that out. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going to Action Coast Wrestling. It's the promotion that me and Larson own. And we haven't been there in a while. It's sort of been on autopilot. You know, it's kind of like my idea the other day. I blue skied this out. NBA teams need to get rid of coaches. That's my idea. Get rid of coaches. Just have the teams run the teams. Yay or nay on that? No, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. When you and I, when we go, if we were ever to play, like, you know, when we did the Folsom League, when we did that, we didn't have a coach. We didn't need a coach. Why would we need a coach?
We're also not professional athletes, Steve.
Speak for yourself.
Playing at a high level.
No, listen, I forget what I was talking about. Oh, Action Coast Wrestling. So we just leave this thing on autopilot, and then I find out that there's like Trip Rogers, this son of a bitch. I'm drinking my Mio out of a jar like an idiot right now because he stole my water bottle.
Out of a jar. I know. I'll backtrack slightly on that. There should be somebody designated as the coach, whether that's their lone role or they're also a player.
Player coaches would be great, but I kind of feel like just nobody should be in charge. Anyways, that's how it is at Action Coast Wrestling. He's taken on, this is what got me hyped, because this dude's found a way to use like a phone and got on social media, got on Action Coast Wrestling's Instagram account and cut a promo. And evidently, somehow he got a championship along the way. And he's putting that championship, I think it's the East Bay Championship, up on the line. Trip, if you're still around, let me know if I'm right or wrong about that. I don't really care. And it's like kind of like a loser leaves town situation where, like, if he gets his ass handed to him, he's no longer in the company, which is kind of great.
He's wrestling AD too, right?
Yeah, and he's wrestling Magnum AD.
Yeah.
That dude's going to he's going to vaporize this guy. It's going to be great. I'm talking about AD's going to vaporize Trip Rogers.
Yeah.
And hopefully along the way, I'll get my goddamn water bottle back. How great would that be?
Be pretty great. How many years have you been without that water bottle?
Fucking 2.
Several.
It's been
Will you
more
even
than
use
one.
it after it's been away from you for 2 years?
Hell no. He says he got 4 titles. How much that cost you?
How many titles do you have back there?
Yeah, I know. Hey, Trip, I got 5. Anyways, so it's in Pacheco, California.
Yes.
The tickets are at Eventbrite. Just put in Action Coast Wrestling. And if you're in the Northern California area, come out and say hi. And or don't. You can just stare at me too. Or just don't even look at me. I don't care what you do. But I'll be there. I'm going to drive an hour and 20 minutes to see this guy get absolutely tanked.
Who's going with you, though?
Nobody. Lacey wanted you to go with me, I guess. To like help me drive. I don't know why. She was like, take Larson with you. I'm like, why? And she's like, if something happens. Well, if something happens, it's going to happen to him too. So then like, it'll be like extra bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just getting in my car. I'm driving. And then I'm going to go watch this show. I'm going to watch Trip get just manhandled out of the company. And then I'm on my way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways.
If I didn't have plans already, I'd go. But
now I'm going to get on here and I am going to ban Trip from our chat. Because now he's talking shit. He's like, I actually won mine, unlike you who asked the wife if you could buy yours. I can't wait. He's gonna get. I know. I don't really have a comeback because here's the thing: no lies told there. W.S. Fletcher says, "So you're driving alone? Steve is a big boy. He can drive alone. Well, could you tell my wife that, please?" All right. Let's see here. I'll just put him on timeout for 24 hours. Confirmed.
24-hour timeout. There you go.
Anyways, let's dive into SmackDown, man. What are we talking about?
Oh, let's talk about Cody and Kevin Owens. Saturday Night Main Event. Chad Gable gets involved in all this too. So the first in-ring segment on SmackDown is Cody coming to the ring, dropping a promo, and he's talking about how what an honor it is to be on Saturday Night Main Event. He says, "An honor of a lifetime just compete. But that's not that simple for me because of Kevin Owens." And then he's interrupted by American-made Chad Gable. And Chad says, "Cody, you may be asking yourself why the greatest athlete to ever come out of Minnesota, or Minneapolis tonight, is out here. That's because the transfer window is almost open."
Transfer window.
And Nick Aldis is talking about bring me to SmackDown, being from Minneapolis. You understand that people here are gullible. So let me speak some truth to you, to them. Cody, when you first came back to WWE, you were the beacon of inspiration for me. You carry yourself like a champ. You dress the part. But heck, I can do that because Chad's wearing a really nice suit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
He says, it's not easy being a good friend, being a loyal friend like Kevin Owens. And I know about bad friends. When I was at rock bottom, Otis left me high and dry, just like you did with Kevin Owens. You're not really who I thought you were. You're the definition of superficial. All you care about is what everyone thinks about you. And if your friends have to fall by the wayside to make that happen, so be it. As far as I'm concerned, whatever you got coming to you, you deserve it.
Wow. So Cody says, yeah, that's a good point. And then because he had said, I ain't got no friends. And then I think there's one guy in the crowd who said, I'll be your friend. And he said, hey, yeah, that's a good point. Well, you guys will be my friends, right? And they're all like, yeah, we like you, Cody. And then he says, I'm disappointed that it's you saying all this because I see a lot of me in you. You're the same, right? The guy who's maximized your minutes because you were Shorty G, right? And the crowd's like, oh, dang. And Cody's like, no, because I'm Stardust. And he says, so I know all about what you're going through. I know what you're seeking. You have so much to lose because what happens when you fail again? When I lost to WrestleMania 39, I could only blame myself. What happens when you fail at your end game? What happens? How do you talk to Brutus or Ivy or Julius? Do they take the blame? Chad gets mad and he says, hey, if I didn't have this suit on right now, I'll whoop your ass. And Cody says, all right, how about this? We'll fight in the main event. And he says, I got Kevin Owens on my mind, and that's no good for you.
Yeah. So later on, they advertise that Kevin Owens going to have a sit-down interview with Michael Cole. Mm-hmm. However, we get a Matt Chat question from Kevin Owens in his car. And he says, do you have any idea what the feeling you get when they call you and tell you that you got to come to Minneapolis so Michael Cole can interview? Then he acts like he's excited. He's like, oh, wait, no, I know the feeling. It sucks. Is this supposed to be a thrill, an honor, coming to Minneapolis? No. Get interviewed by Michael Cole? No. You think I'm going to go in there? No. You're going to have to come to me, to my car. Come on, Michael, come have a chat. So then after the tag title match.
Yeah, so that happens. And I actually really liked this because, again, you're messing
really well done.
You're messing with the typical visual presentation of the show, and I really appreciate that. So
I did too.
Cole leaves commentary. It's freezing outside, and Kevin Owens is like, yeah, come on in. And he's like, I got a nice 68 in here. So Cole gets in. And they have a chat, and he's like, ever since I dropped Cody, I've been told I'm not welcome to come to SmackDown. So I'm staying out here because Cole's like, dude, come on. We're going to do this in a nice, a comfortable room. I was going to do an unbiased interview. And he was like, no, you're not unbiased. He's like, you're like the number one Cody fanboy. He says, if I knew in NXT what I know now, I wouldn't have talked to you. He says, Kevin asks, which one of them left in WWE in 2016 because he didn't like the opportunities. Which one came back and was handed everything? And Cole says, well, he says, not just Cody that we're talking about here, though. It was Jimmy, Jay, Sammy. They all team with Roman, too. And Kevin Owens says, I don't care what Jimmy and Jay do. He says, I'll get to Sammy. But right now I'm focused on Cody. Hey, they could transfer portal Kevin Owens after the Cody match. He says, Cody stabbed me in the back. Cole tells Kevin Owens he's being petty. He says, look in the mirror and face the problem. Kevin Owens is like, yeah, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm a handsome guy. He said, get out of my car. I don't like this. And Cole does, and he says, hey, Cole, come back over here. And then he rolls up the window on him. He drives off. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then we had that match in the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable. Gable's working Cody's leg during most of this. Eventually, the rest of American Made gets kicked out because they're trying to interfere. And then let's see here. Cody gets a what happens here? Cody gets a Crossroads.
Get the win.
Yeah, Crossroads for the win.
Yeah, he
and
has
then
to
afterwards,
try 3 times.
So like he's Gable's working the shit out of his leg. So afterwards, he's really selling this thing. And then you see just the feet of Kevin Owens show up, and he's there. And then big brawl breaks out, and that's Paul Levesque and Lee Fitting's time for their name to show up. That's the end of the show.
Yep. So the show kicked off with, of course, the Survivor Series recap. We'll talk about this now. And they gave an injury update on 3 participants in the men's Survivor Series match. Bronson Reed, broken foot, broken ankle, and they slow motion replay of his foot and ankle just obliterating.
Just absolutely vaporized, yeah.
They did the thing where they blurred out the rest of the image and just focused on the injury itself.
They don't have to do that.
No. Tonga Loa tore his bicep, so it makes sense while he was kind of holding his one arm close to him most of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jimmy Uso, which Jay said at the media scrum afterwards, broke his toe. All out indefinitely.
Yeah.
So then, backstage, Apollo Crews is getting through the metal detector and security, but then Solo just kind of like cuts right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And Crews is about to confront Solo when Jacob just wrecks him with a super kick. So then Solo, Jacob, and Tama Tonga lay out security. Solo's like, let's go. Now, seemingly unrelated, we're going to pivot to the U.S. title scene. It'll come back around.
Yes.
So we get this really cool Nakamura video package where he's kind of talking about what motivated him to do this rebirth, as he put it. Mentions they showed like his feud with Seth, with Cody. And he said there has been a rebirth not out of desire but out of necessity. And basically what they showed was he was losing, doing what he was doing. To be a winning wrestler, he had to repackage himself.
Yeah.
He said, LA Knight, this is the beginning of your end. So after commercial, he comes to the ring. LA Knight interrupts him. Pretty much says, I want my title shot and I want it right now. And he said, and Nakamura doesn't do anything. So Knight says, since you've come back, you've done nothing other than take advantage when I got my back turned. The only thing you've done to be face to face is hit me with that mist. And so he pulls out his sunglasses, put them on. So
call them mist blockers.
Yeah, I got my LA Knight mist blockers on. So I'm going to make sure you get stomped out.
Yeah.
Andrade interrupts right as LA Knight is getting in the ring and says, I'm not here for you, LA Knight. I'm here for Nakamura. And Knight says, this man is in debt right now. I'm here to collect. When I get my title back, well, then Tama Tonga runs down and pulls Andrade off the apron. Jacob Fatu gets in the ring and lays out LA Knight. Solo gets in the ring. And the bad bloodline surrounds Nakamura, and he's got the mist that's starting to spill out of his mouth. It's such a great image.
It was a lot, too, and he was playing it up really. Yeah, the new presentation for Nakamura is top-notch. It's really good.
It is. So then Nakamura slowly backs out of the ring and leaves. Solo's about to hit Andrade with a spike. Knight breaks it up briefly, and then Solo ends up hitting both of them with spikes. He picks up the mic and says, anyone that's thinking the bloodline is finished or the bloodline is weak, or just because I lost 2 soldiers, that means we ain't the ones anymore. I beg you to step up, because this is what will happen. The bloodline will lay your ass out every single time. Tired of people not taking me seriously, who think I'm a joke, that this is all fun and games. You can laugh all you want, but I'm still your tribal chief. I'm still the head of the table, and I got this. And I still got this. To anyone who wants to come down the ring, you're going to end up doing what everyone else will do. Minneapolis, acknowledge me, Steve. Put your ones up for your tribal chief.
I'll put my one up for Solo. I like Solo Sikoa. I think he's an excellent tribal chief for now.
Happy you acknowledge him as your tribal chief.
Me too. That being said, so I know you said that this isn't necessarily going to be a way to get Bloodline to U.S. title. Could this
Not necessarily.
Could this be a way to get LA Knight away from U.S. title?
It could.
He asked for his rematch. However, he's not going to let this stand. He could remind everybody on the house show circuit. You can look this up on Cage Match. I got 34 wins on Solo Sikoa. Yeah. So this would be another day at the park. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they probably won't reference that. But a win for Solo and keeping LA Knight away from the title scene while Nakamura racks up some wins, and then LA Knight, I guess, can revisit that down the line. But more importantly, it does that. It extends Nakamura's title run.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a distinct possibility. And if LA Knight feuds with the Bloodline for a bit, gets the U.S. title back, then maybe you have motivation for say, Jacob Fatu
Yeah.
to feud with LA Knight and then have him win the U.S. title, which I think
That
would be
could
awesome.
very well be. That could very well be. Yeah, absolutely.
So long term, yes, this could lead to the Bloodline getting in the U.S. title scene, but this segment here, I don't think necessarily short term makes it clear that's going to be the case.
Yeah, because the first one I was like, oh my God, is Nakamura going to be like a transitional champion for Jacob Fatu? But I think it's going to be down the line, and I think it might be closer to what you and I are laying out here. Speaking of laying out, of course, a couple weeks ago, somebody laid out Jade Cargill.
Well, there's a segue there.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth.
That's good.
Hey, all right. And we're still on the search.
Oh, it's Naomi. Come on.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. Well, let's talk about what actually happened and lay out your case for Naomi laying out Jade Cargill.
All right.
Before anything really, Bianca and Naomi are talking backstage. Bianca says, now that War Games is over, I'm on the case. I can concentrate on who attacked Jade. Naomi says, yeah, I'll concentrate on that too, but I got this triple threat match tonight.
Yeah.
So Bianca's like, all right, fare thee well. And then Chelsea and Piper step up. Now, Bianca is still busted up from War Games. She's got all sorts of tape on her ribs and everything. Yeah. And Chelsea's talking shit. Bianca then accuses Piper of attacking Jade. She says, I think you did it. And Piper's like, oh, no, let's go ahead and settle it now. How about that? Then Chelsea pushes Bianca. Bianca takes a swing at her. Piper lays her out, leave her laying. So that leads to a match between Bianca and Piper. This match was a ton of fun because Bianca Belair is awesome. And so she's selling those ribs the whole time. And I'm thinking, like, because she tried a KOD kind of early-ish, and she couldn't get it up because of the ribs. She ended up hitting it in the end, though. But it got me thinking she really needs, like, a secondary finisher. Because what happens? Like, she has a couple opponents out there that are, and I know she's super strong, and she proved in this match that she doesn't need it. But if you're a Bianca Belair and you're like, you know what, man, the KOD requires me to, like, put somebody up. Like, don't you want to look for another finish that maybe keeps you on the ground, you know, in case your ribs are all busted?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, it might behoove one to have a secondary finisher, yeah.
KOD is so good, though.
It is.
It's really good.
It's like a sit-down burning hammer. It's great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And but no, Bianca is just absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And she got the win here and actually hit that KOD onto Chelsea.
Yeah, because before she was trying to hit the KOD and Chelsea got on the apron, so Bianca, threw over the top rope into the ring and then bang, KOD of Piper onto Chelsea. So let's talk about this backstage segment. So Bianca's walking backstage, and that's what we see in the background, Aldous talking to Dom. Then Naomi walks up to her, and she says, I'm so sick of Tiffany and Candace getting involved in our business, or my business. So then Byron walks up and says, I know firsthand that Piper and Chelsea were not responsible for Jade's attack because they were sitting in gorilla position when it happened. Mm-hmm. And Naomi immediately starts listing off a bunch of other suspects.
Well, kind of at Bianca's behest. She's like, that narrows it down then. And then Naomi's like, yeah, all sorts of other people. She names off basically everybody on team Nia and Liv. Yeah. So that's a natural thing to do. But then you notice they leave, and in the background on the screen behind Byron, there is one woman on that screen, Bailey.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Yeah, and I think LA Knight's next to her, but the only two people on that was like a dude. It's not going to be one of them, and Bailey.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be Naomi. Naomi kind of makes, just in terms of like, she's been in the same role for like, even before she left WWE. Yeah. She's been like a good guy. So a bad guy change for her. I think that's probably more likely than Bailey going back to being a bad guy.
Yeah, and I feel like, Naomi so often is kind of been looked over, been kind of, as Forgotten Media here says, she's tired of being the sidekick.
Right. Yeah.
And she wants her own opportunities as a top star.
You know what could drive this, what could even push this further too? If Bianca starts buddying up with Bailey, if she finds newfound respect for Bailey because of War Games and she starts teaming with Bailey, then it could be somehow, or maybe the other way. Maybe Naomi starts throwing Bailey's name. She's like, man, Bianca, I've got some suspicions, and it really worries me because Bailey and I are close. But I think it could be her.
And, there is some confusion about the nature of Jade's injury and whether it is actually legitimate or storyline.
That's the dude. WWE, they are
Conflicting
playing the
reporting.
game, man.
Yeah.
Playing the game.
So how about this? What if it's a situation where they're like, Bianca, we don't know when Jade's coming back. You got to relinquish your tag titles. And then Naomi's like, I'll be your partner. Tag champ.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Yeah.
Like in terms of long-term gain and motivation,
A lot of good
Naomi
stuff
makes
there.
the most sense.
A lot of good stuff there. It's the best story. Just like when we were like, hey, Bailey's got to be on this team because it'd make for it. And then they didn't really do the story thing. But maybe they could do some of that now.
Maybe they will. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And on top of that, she was very quick on social media to start shooting people down that it was her. You know. Anyways. As we mentioned, Naomi was in the women's U.S. title tournament match, triple threat thing, already having moved on. The aforementioned Bailey, Mi Chin has moved on, and
Chelsea Green.
The eventual winner, Chelsea Green, moved on. So this is the last triple threat.
Yes.
Naomi,
and
Tiffany.
Semifinals will be one-on-one matches, and then the first chance will be determined on Saturday night's main event.
Right. So Tiffany Stratton moved on in this match, hit a moonsault on Elektra Lopez after throwing Naomi out of the ring. So she moves on to take on Mi Chin.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that Tiffany's going to somehow get... You think she's going to get past Mi Chin? They're not going to have a bad guy unless they do Tiffany versus Bailey in the finals.
Which is a possibility. You know, I guess it... I
You
mean,
think it's
Chelsea,
going to be one or the other? It's either going to be Chelsea and Bailey, or it's going to be Mi Chin and I'm sorry.
Well, it's either be
Tiffany-
Bailey or
Tiffany and
Tiffany
Bailey.
or Mi Chin
Yeah.
or Chelsea. Of course, Mi Chin and Chelsea they had that dumpster match.
Great
not that
match.
long ago. It's tons of fun. So I guess there's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance that Mi Chin can move on and face Chelsea.
It's either going to be that one or it's going to be Bailey and Tiffany.
In which case, Bailey will be the first champ.
Well, if it depends. Like, she wasn't on tonight's episode, was she?
No.
Bailey
I would
was,
just be
except for the
surprised if
background.
they have Tiffany with the U.S. title and the briefcase.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, just in terms of the star power aspect of it, I could see them going with Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
But I could also see them. It's funny because Chelsea kind of gets like chumped out tonight. So it's like, man, I don't know if I see that.
Yeah.
I mean, my heart says Mi Chin.
Yeah, it'd be great if Medium won it. That'd be awesome.
Because I think that'd be terrific. She's put in such good work. But then again, so is Chelsea. I mean, you think about her Money in the Bank performance, the dumpster match stuff. She takes everything and turns it into like just super entertaining stuff.
Yep.
So it all depends on philosophically which way they're going to go. The biggest name or, sort of an up and coming, stepping stone type thing.
Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty clear with the Intercontinental title, they're taking the approach that we're going to crown a first-time champion with that
Right.
tournament.
Or
So it
Natalia.
remains to be seen if they're going to take the opposite approach with the U.S. title or the same approach.
Yeah.
I thought they weren't going to turn DIY heel because the New Day just turned heel. I was wrong.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad they did this, though, because we're going to talk about that next. Yes, good. So Motor City Machine Guns are set to defend their titles against the Street Profits. But the Street Profits been laid out. Aldis walks up to the Motor City Machine Guns like, hey, Profits can't do it. So Gargano comes in out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, if you guys need a match, boom, we're there. And then Motor City Machine Guns is like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Aldis at first was like, I'm running to it. You already did that. But Motor City Machine Guns
what do you
like,
think
yes.
it's a little suspect that, given Ciampa's behavior late, that Ciampa could have been responsible for said attack and not been so agreeable, even though hesitant to give DIY the match?
Oh, you mean Aldis?
Yeah, what'd I say? I meant to say
Honestly,
Aldis.
I think you said Ciampa.
And Aldis being so agreeable to the match, given how Ciampa's been behaving. That's what I meant to say if I didn't say that.
Well, he kind of wasn't, though. Like, he was waffling on this, and Motor City Machine Guns was like, yeah, okay, cool, we'll do it. And he was like, okay, whatever. Aldis was on the verge of being a little pierced tonight, Yeah,
he was.
like,
He's
was
got a lot
like,
going on. He's got to negotiate a bunch of deals and stuff.
once SmackDown goes to 3 hours, I want to see him start going like super gray. Like, oh my God, how did he do these 3 hours?
He shows up to work one day and like, Nick,
Wow, you smell like
You
booze,
look
buddy.
like you aged 15 years overnight.
Lord, what have you been drinking?
So before the tag title match, we got Gargano backstage, the locker room warming up. Ciampa steps up to him, and Gargano's like, "Look, I fixed it. I got us a title shot." And Ciampa says, "You fixed it. You got us a title match you should have gotten us months ago. You think I've forgotten about what I asked you? We'll find out the answer later."
Do you got the gumption? That's the question.
You got the ingredients.
You got the ingredients. We're going to find out. And we did find out because Ciampa was trying to go super heel against Motor City Machine Guns. Gargano wasn't. And eventually he shoves Gargano for not having the gumption. And then Gargano had the gumption. And he gave a big old low blow because Ciampa did the thing where he's trying to bring a chair in. Ref's like, give him a big lecture, big stern lecture. And meanwhile, as Motor City Machine Guns looked like they were going to hit their finish on Gargano, boom, big low blow. And then they're able to get him meet in the middle on one of them dudes.
Sabin, yeah. Shelley ate the low blow. Gargano's good friend.
Right. Yeah,
mentor,
that's right.
Alex Shelley ate that low blow.
Yep.
Yeah, and then meet in the middle on Sabin, new tag champs. And then after that, they're celebrating backstage. Candice joins them. And Ciampa declares them geniuses. Because it was all a ruse to begin with. It was all the plan.
Give me some comedic heels. I'll be happy.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great if they're wildly entertaining.
If they're more like the way than like, we're bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Gargano knows how to do like, I'm super bad guy. Like he's just better as like a snarky.
Yeah. No, yeah, 1,000%.
He's so much fun. Anyways, well, that's awesome. I've got questions here that we can answer.
We're going to start with this one because I noticed this too.
Okay.
Guy Incognito says, kayfabe-wise, why wasn't Gunther wearing any pants after leaving Nick Aldis's office? He had his trunks on. I would guess he was wrestling a dark match after SmackDown.
Yeah,
tonight.
Probably. Hold on, I've got the Fightful Select scoop here on the on that.
Oh, the dark matches. Okay.
Yeah, because they have the dark matches there. Come on, where was it? I had it up earlier. Oh, here we go. Scoops. Let's see here.
Yeah, against Otis.
Otis versus Gunther.
Yeah, so
and
Gunther
also,
in a match. That's it. I mean, that's the kayfabe explanation. That's the actual explanation. So
we have the actual explanation why they had Dom Mysterio talking too, because it was Dom versus Braun Breaker in the dark match. I'm surprised they didn't have Braun Breaker there talking to people. And then also, Luke Gallows versus Austin Theory.
Wonder who won that one.
I mean, you would think Austin Theory.
Yeah.
But you never know these days, man. You never know. Let's see here. Dave Matushak wants to know how long we think DIY's championship reign should be. Also, Street Profits are totally going to take those titles off them, right?
Yeah, they should.
They should.
At this point. I don't know. I still feel like at the end of the day, we're gonna get a DIY breakup, and we're gonna get a feud. Obviously, at some point, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it might be a while. If they're both bad guys now, that might be a while.
And Candice is a heel too. They're all.
Yeah, I love that. They're so good as bad guys.
They are. Maybe Ciampa will turn face. Nate Cruz asked, "What was the top of both of your Spotify rap this year?" I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that.
Dude, I don't have Spotify.
That's right. You don't have Spotify.
I don't. No, I don't.
You do the Apple Music, don't you?
Because I got the whole everything Apple thing. Like none of my computers are, but as it comes like the phone, like I got all the Apple stuff there.
Here's the thing, though: is our whole family shares the Spotify account.
Yeah, Apple has like a family thing too, where you get like it's not everybody shares it; everybody gets their own, but it's all under the same umbrella.
No, everybody. We have one, and everybody shares.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
So whatever is the top stuff ain't gonna be mine. Ain't gonna be my wife's. It's gonna be the kids.
Okay, wow.
Because they're constantly listening to music.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's rough. I can't. No sharing from here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Apple has. I think Apple might have a similar thing. I don't know. Probably my most listened song recently is probably like this year was probably either David Bowie's Fashion.
Or Lindsey Buckingham's Trouble, right?
Or it was that Pavement song, Harness
Range
Your Hopes. Harness Your Hopes.
Oh, Harness Your Hopes, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see here. Playlist. Is there a playlist for this? Most listened to? I thought there was. Top 25 most played. Oh, nice. One of them is What a Fool Believes.
Oh, what a good song.
Have you watched that Yacht Rock
I
document?
I will try to watch it this weekend.
You got to do that. This is all time. I want like recent.
Oh.
Because my all-time number one
is
This Is Halloween from the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, This Is Halloween. This is Halloween. Yeah. I've never seen that movie, but I know that song.
Boy, that's weird. I guess I talk shit and I shouldn't because I got a PJ Masks theme song on here, but that was like 5 years ago.
That's a while ago.
That was a long time ago. Anyway.
Have you listened to the new Kendrick Lamar album yet?
A couple times over, yeah.
Really good.
It's good stuff. Yeah, it's really good stuff.
That Reincarnated song is amazing.
It is, yeah.
I listened to it like 5 times in a row today.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. Let's see here. Kyle says, it looks like when we get 3-hour Raws and SmackDowns, there's going to be a Superstar Shake-Up supplemental draft. Who would you like to see go from... Oh, we already talked about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, who would you like to see get called up NXT?
Oh, good question. You know, if Obafemi's not going to be in the Iron Survivor match deadline, bring in the main roster.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let's see if I got the... replay. Here we go. Somebody said they got the replay going. Let's see here.
Was this still your Apple Music stuff?
Top artist. Yeah, this is Apple Music. Sorry.
All right, what's your top artist?
Top artist is Soundgarden is number one. I got my top 5 here.
Not surprising. You love your Soundgarden.
Soundgarden. Yeah. That is actually kind of surprising. Like, historically speaking, not, but this year.
Recently, yeah. You talk about Soundgarden all the time.
I mean, one of our homage shirts is a Soundgarden homage shirt.
Yeah.
Number 2 is REM.
Interesting.
I guess I listened to them a lot this year. Number 3 is CKY. I went back to the gym. Not
surprising.
This can't be right. Number 4 is Pearl Jam. That can't be right. Oh, okay. So no, dude, no. This is totally right though. My top 5 songs is What a Fool Believes, Trouble by Lindsey Buckingham, Harness Your Hopes is number 3, Fashion's number 4, and Sebado's Not Too Amused are my 5.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
A heck of a top 5 there.
Yep.
Did I already tell you this show's totally gotten away from wrestling at this point? That I once saw Sebado open up for Cake.
Really?
Yeah.
Cake was popular for a minute.
It was here in Sacramento.
Man, that makes a lot of sense. Where's Sebado from? Seattle?
Well, Lou Barlow was the original and still is, although for a spell he wasn't bass player for Dinosaur Jr. At I believe Amherst, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. That's
I mean, I don't, I think with Sebado, I don't know. Remember Sebado might have lived in different cities. I don't remember exactly.
Okay. Oh, that'd be interesting.
Really getting back to play live and recording. Yeah.
Getting back to wrestling, I guess. Jabroni Town here says, as Triple H and TK swap shows, who would be the top stars of each brand?
Wait, Triple H and Tony Khan swapped
So
companies?
If they swapped booking, who would be the Triple H guys in AEW? That's actually kind of a cool question, to be honest with you. Cole. Swerve. I think Ospreay. I think he's bummed that he didn't get Ospreay.
Yeah, I know.
I think that hurts.
Talk shit about him when he didn't sign.
Because he was so hurt. That's what you do,
I feel like Triple H would probably appreciate Hangman Adam Page.
I think he would too.
And Tony Storm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Really get behind Tony Storm. And probably Mercedes.
I think Sasha too. Yeah, Mercedes. Yeah. I think he'd like her. Is there anybody in the lower card? I think he'd be done with Jericho. I don't think Jericho would get much screen time.
No. Sorry, we don't have anything for you, Chris.
Yeah. Is there anybody in the lower card that Triple H would elevate? I think he'd be a fan of the match guys. I think he'd be a fan of Takeshita.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'd like Garcia.
He'd like Switchblade.
Yeah, he would.
He'd bring back Starks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who Tony Khan likes book the show around?
Who's under 6 feet?
I mean, Kevin Owens is.
Kevin Owens is not under 6 feet.
Yeah, he is.
No, shut up. Get out of here.
He is. He might be 6 feet, but he's
What?
not over.
I thought he was like 6'1".
Remember we were at
Where are you getting that from?
We didn't talk to him, but he was at that thing we did for our first batch of interviews, like with the Charlotte interview. And if he was taller than me, it wasn't by much.
So he's billed as 6 feet, which means he's probably your height.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would. Oh, yeah, he would love Kevin Owens regardless.
Yeah.
He would love him.
I feel like Tony Khan would really like
Sammy.
Gunther.
He'd love Gunther.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd love Gunther. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be all the same people.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it'd be drastically different.
Ricochet would still be in the lower mid card. Regardless.
Lachlan Shaw here says, glad for your recap. Hard to watch live from a very sunny Australia. What's your guys' opinion on AEW changing their venue for Grand Slam? So they were going to do a stadium show. They didn't sell enough tickets, so it's an arena now.
Grand Slam, isn't that the one they used to do at Arthur Ashe?
Yeah, but they're doing it in February in Australia.
Is it still in New York?
No, it's in Australia, man.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, we've had this kind of question before. I don't know. Do some.
Better have a show in front of a arena that's 3/4 filled rather than a stadium that's 1/4 filled.
like when Impact had one of those baseball
at the
shows.
minor league baseball field, and there's like 200 people there. Yeah.
You got to do some research into the market that you're going into, man. Because I heard all sorts of complaints about, like, I don't know, just the logistics of going to that show. And I'm not saying that's the lone reason, but you got to know what your market is in 2024, 2025. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know that
just
stuff.
Go into a market and put on a huge show expecting.
It ain't 2021 anymore, man. Nope. Boy, that rating for AEW is, ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Here's a spoiler for one. I know we're going to do our predictions in a couple weeks. He's going to get a showrunner in 2025. I think that shit's going to happen. I thought you were
going to say that Dynamite was going to dip below 500,000.
That's why he's going to get a showrunner, because that's totally going to happen. I was shocked, man. I was talking to Dope about this today, and I was going back now that we're patrons of WrestleNomics.
Yeah.
It's very easy to go back and look at the ratings. And, man, like at the beginning of the year, they were pulling 800,000. They dropped a ton. They dropped a ton. Yeah. So, anyways, you got any more questions over there?
Let me refresh here. No, everything else we talked about on the show.
All right. Sounds good. Well, hey, everybody, hopefully you have a good weekend. Be safe out there.
You too,
get your
Steve.
Rest.
I can't go with you to the ACW show to make sure everything's okay.
Listen,
so
man,
be safe.
If anything happens to me, find a new host. Find a new co-host. This is your life. This is our life. Going and Raw can go on without
ask
me.
Hilton to do this?
He would jump at it. You guys would have such a good time.
I don't know.
Yes. I don't know if he'd want to. Maybe he would.
He would last such a short amount of time before it's just...
Find a new co-host.
I don't know.
Nothing's going to happen to me. I'll be fine. It's a drive. It's an hour and 20 minutes
Hilton and I
away.
would do great, but it's fine. No, everything's going to be fine.
All right. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Everybody be safe. I'll be safe. Dope said he'll host with you.
Done deal.
There you go. Till